All right, just gonna do a simple fade in here today. It's not been a good few days for me, and I reached my limit essentially. Trying to take care of my mom. Um, I got a little sick. I was sick in the last stream, I believe, a little bit, and it's generated a little bit of a cough and cold for me. And then my mom got something of it, and she declined quite a bit in the last week, quite a bit, to the point where it's just impossible for me to take care of her. It's just literally impossible. Like I have, um, she always had issues walking, but now it's even worse. It's just a point where she can't really walk at all without any kind of assistance. The point where she's basically I have to feed her because I can't. Because she really, I mean, she can hold a plate and a spoon, but she'll just stare off into space forever, and she won't actually eat. So I have to feed her. Then I have to make sure she drinks. I have to make sure she moves on the bed. Otherwise, she'll develop a bed sore, and it's literally I can't do anything else. So I am ragged. So today I was trying to looking around for some placement places for her. It's difficult because uh, I obviously want to keep it a responsible price range. I don't know how long she's got left. Really, you don't know. It's one of those things where it could be literally, it could be 6 months, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 days. Who knows? I think she's getting better now. She's got a little bit of a fever. I'm so ragged. It's one of those weird things where you are on sort of this hyper emergency mode. All right, now I'm being kind of like a downer. I mean, this already is going to be a kind of a downer stream, at least to start, while I explain what's going on with me and my situation. But it's one of those things where doing this public is one of those things where I just need to say it out loud, because I don't have a whole lot of friend and family support. I don't have any family support here. It's just me and my mom, literally. So using these streams as a way to kind of connect with other people and just say what I want to say. And I understand the superficialness of it all and how it's sort of like I'm airing grief for sympathy points. Of course I am. No, don't pretend like anyone that doesn't do that is not looking for sympathy, but sometimes sympathy is what you require in order to move forward, right? So, yeah, looking for a place. I've got one that is about a 30-minute drive away, which is a really good price, but it is a 30-minute drive, so it's an hour out of my way. Although if I teach at the college, it's only like a 15-minute drive from the college, so maybe not too bad. And the other one is like a 10-minute drive from the house, and it's like $700 or more a month. I'm gonna go see it tomorrow, and I think I'll make my decision tomorrow based on what I see tomorrow. I think if I just decide between those two, that'd be good. But anyhow, she's she's at the point too. It's hard because people think about grandmothers, and they think about old people as sort of talkative, and I tied an onion to my belt, and that was the style at the time, kind of thing. And my mom is not that. My mom is, how you doing? Okay. And that's all you're gonna get from her. Period. Hey, are you comfortable? Fine. Like nothing. You don't get anything from her. And yeah, I am running the whole thing by myself. So it's been leading up to this has been me. I mean, you could see it on the channel how much I've pulled back as far as what I could do. Barely what I could do with my life is basically. I see your guys' chat. We'll get to your chat, guys, in a sec. But all I've been doing is sitting at home for the first half of the day, waiting for my caregivers to arrive, and then I can get away for a few hours and do some things, and then go back and just sit and do other. And I would sit and watch YouTube, and good God, if there's nothing worse than spending a whole Saturday watching YouTube just waiting for the medicine shop to deliver the medication. And, it sucks. And I'll be honest, like thinking about moving her to a facility or they're called in residential care, which means somebody buys a house with like 6 rooms in it, and they house a bunch of seniors, and so it's like they live there and then they take care of 6 seniors. And I think that's probably a good place for her. We're at not one of these like large scale nursing homes, but yeah, Mr. B, thank you for saying that. I'll put it up there for you guys to see. Absolutely drains it out of you. I mean, you can hear it in my voice, can't you? Like, I am so drained. Like this last, I want to say Wednesday night. Like, she used to be able to go up the stairs with my help. I would, and like literally Tuesday, it was a Monday. Tuesday the physical therapist was there, and I demonstrated her going up the stairs. That's what it was. Yeah. So she went up the stairs with my help. Like she had my one arm, and then she would just one step at a time go up. And then Wednesday night, she just couldn't move her legs at all anymore to go up the stairs, even after being told and coached and all that. And so because her bedroom's upstairs, because we live in a 2-story house there's no shower on the first floor, so there's no option of moving her downstairs. That's with a shower, unless you do a sponge bath. But I mean, all right, it's already far enough with me. So I basically had to muscle her one step at a time. I grabbed her, bear hugged her, and then okay, move her up one stair, then one stair. I did that, and it killed me because Thursday I had a early morning shoot, which required me to be there I'd wake up at 5 or 4:30 to get there I had to be there about 7:30 for a student of the month meeting, and they're not hard to do. If I can vent a little bit about that, it's sort of annoying that I do the video so I have 2 robotic cameras, and I set up the little network for the robotic cameras, and I live switch it, and I take an audio feed from their system, right? Well, some of these kids they're kids, they don't know any better. So when they do their speeches, they're doing their speeches like this. How you doing, guys? I'm way over here. It's like, no, speaking to the mic, honey. Speaking to the mic. But guess who gets blamed? Hey, turn up the sound. We can't hear the student. Well, you can't hear the student because they're talking over here. So I get there, and like this one guy who's the husband of the one of the coordinators that does it keeps thinking that I'm the sound guy. Like, I'm not the sound guy. I'm the video guy. Like, I do the video for your project. Like, sound is not my department. I say I'm pulling that old phrase, not my department. But sound is not me. I'm not, it's not even my equipment. Like, the other guys that set up this venue, that's their equipment, they set it up. And the sound works fine if you're using the mic properly. And I can't keep bumping and like I'm over here on this side of the room, and the sound's on the other side of the room. Like, granted, that might be a bad setup, but it's like, anyhow, that's what I mean. I'm getting so burned out. I'm just getting so burned out. But anyhow, the sound was, just gotta get on the mic, people. Get on the mic. Get on the mic. So I went around I went around Thursday and just told everybody, hey, if you see your students like not getting on the mic, move the mic for them. Get it on the mic. Get on the mic. And they were pretty good about it that time. But it's just kind of annoying. It's like I'm now the sound guy. It's like, no, I'm not the sound guy. But anyhow, so that was an early morning thing, and I had to come back. And I actually had a meeting scheduled after that, but I canceled it because I wanted to make sure my mom was okay, because she was sort of like just really gone. And that was this Thursday, yeah. And I forget what else I forget. Well, Came back Thursday, and then I had taught the class. So I did the class real quick. Came back, and yeah, my mom was like just now showing a little bit of fever, and like having breathing difficulties, some sort of like pneumonia thing, maybe some aspired some food. So yeah, that's I had to. I mean, look, it's also it's one of those things too where it's like, do I take her to the ER? No, I don't. Like the instinct would be to take her to the ER for something like that, but I know exactly what an ER visit would entail. An ER visit would entail literally going to the ER, putting in a chair, then I have to sit there at the ER, very uncomfortable position for at least an hour, maybe. I don't know, they might admit her because she's having breathing problems, so they might admit her, but then I'd be sitting there for an hour, and the doctor would come in and give you like a minute of talking, like, okay, this is what we think is her issue. We're going to do this. I'm like, okay, and then I'll be back. I'll be back in 10 minutes, and then 3 hours will go by, and nothing will happen, and then 3 more hours will go by, and you're sitting there like, where did the doctor? Oh, they went home. It would just be, if I went to the ER, it would be a total of 12 hours of literal torture, sitting in an uncomfortable chair, like waiting for something when I know it's probably both dehydration, pneumonia, and maybe just general, falling apart, basically. So, sorry to hear the news. Yeah, I know. Me too. Well, thank you. So, thank you guys for the super chats. I really appreciate it. David Finch. I am not necessarily, appreciate the super chats. I'm going to try to make this channel more of a thing if I can get my mom situated. Thank you, Jack D. Ripper. Live streams. If I can get my mom into a residential care, I would alleviate so much stress off my life. So much stress. MKL lost my mom last August. She went downhill pretty fast. Yeah. And I'm sure I'm probably in that trajectory right now because, outside of the recent fall off in ability, my caregiver noticed it on Friday. I think she kind of bailed pretty quickly when it was her time to leave because she was feeling a little sad about it too. I'm not as sad about it. I'm more just incredibly drained and tired. I've dealt with this with my dad. My dad was an old man when he had me. He wasn't that old, but he was, I think, like 55 or something when he had me. So I had a senior citizen dad. So, as a kid, you always knew. You always knew you look at your dad, look at everyone else's dad, and like, my dad's old. A lot older than all you guys' dads. So, I didn't lose her. Sorry, I didn't know you lost her. Unless you're talking about something else. I didn't lose my mom yet. Not yet. No, I'm just, she's in that decline mode right now. And yeah, it's basically the point where I cannot take care of her. It's got to the point. Like I was, if she could walk a little bit, she could feed herself and walk a little bit. I could struggle and keep struggling, spending half the day home and half the day trying to recover and do other stuff. But to be honest, the last year of doing that has not been productive. You've seen on the channel how much I produce on this channel, and I've got some other work I do on the side, or not a side, but that's my other work is my main work. YouTube is my side job. I've had to, not like I've said no to things, but I can't really do a whole lot, because of the situation. So putting her in her home would free up a lot of time. A lot of people, when the lotto hits, $500 million, you get your ticket, and you spend a lot of time daydreaming about what you're going to do with all that money should you win, right? I've done that. That's a very, very, that's the reason why you play the lotto, so you can just daydream about it. It never happens, except for one person. That person's life is probably ruined after that point. But I kind of daydream about the time I'll do what I'll be able to do if I had time to focus on my life again and work again, you know? Like that's what I would really that's like yeah, I said on the drive I drove to visit this one place and I think it's an option. I'll make my decision tomorrow or Monday. Um, but on the way back I was thinking like, oh, what can I do with the channel? What can I do with my, all the things I would want to do if I had the energy and time to do it. And I think I can, that'd be good. Jason Keene says, I'm an only child. My parents are in their 70s, dreading the future. Yep. Yeah, I know. I know that feeling. Well, my mom's 76, so it's early. It's really early. Elderly parents can be stubborn about changing circumstances. Often self-denial can be a lot of complicated if there's dementia and Alzheimer's involved, as you say, draining for carers as well. It's more hard for me, I think, than it is going to be for her. Like, it's super just ripping me apart. Tearing me apart. Like, I don't think she'll really notice much of a difference other than maybe she won't see me as much anymore. I mean, I'll if I put her somewhere, I want to try to visit at least 3 or 4 times a week. It's not gonna, I'll see her, but it's more just like the sadness of like not of like thinking like, well, she's not going to see this house anymore. That'll be the last time she sees the house. That kind of stuff. Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, now I'm getting teary eyed. But yeah, at least legally, I'm pretty much the person. So I have all the power of attorney and all that stuff. And my dad, before he passed, put everything in a trust. So at least I have the trust I can operate. The other thing is money too. This stuff is not cheap. I'm trying to. I mean, the in-care home is probably going to be the most affordable way to do it. Um, there's money enough in there to keep her comfortable for a while, like maybe quite a while. The question is, how fast is that going to drain? Someone's running my own business too, and my business has suffered a lot. Like, I can't pretend like I haven't, because I haven't been able to even be here. My office is a sludge fest. Everything. That's the other thing. Is like everything in my life is just a disaster zone because I don't have the energy to maintain any of it. Like, luckily, my caregivers were doing the laundry. I just threw my laundry with her stuff. So, otherwise, I had my trash can over here has been full for like 5 months, full of garbage, and I never take it out because I just don't have the. I guess I'm in some sort of deep depression about it. Um, look like that. The only reason I made it's like that Avatar video I made was made because I just haven't. I just needed to do something because the Avatar came out. I made a follow-up video that I had written for like a year. Like, I had a lot of stuff that I've written for a long time, and I've got stuff that I've wanted to do, plan to do, She may be eligible for Medicaid. Yeah, that's the tricky part. Like, the problem with the assets, and we have a Medicaid, Medi-Cal in California that she might be, but it's all these hoops and it's just so annoying, and like there's just no way of handling it, like, and I've had it's interesting because I've had like thoughts on stuff like universal health care and stuff like that, and my dealing with my mom, she's on Medicare, and it's all so confusing, like. But the thing is, going to a single payer system, would that necessarily even be better care? Because I know how Medicare kind of sucks in its own ways. So I don't know. I don't know about anything. Like, if anything, these last few years, months have gotten me to be a lot less certain about certain things. Not uncertain about 24 frames a second, if we want to talk about that now. But I'm definitely very certain, less certain about things like healthcare and handing stuff. Do I sound exhausted? It's not an act. I feel like I am really exhausted. Like there's the kind of exhaustion I have where it's like I don't want to do anything. I just look at, I got a lot of stuff I should do. I can go draw stuff. I can go write scripts. I can go, I can go paint some 3D print. I can get my 3D printer back and running. I can do a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I can do, but I'm at the exhaustion where I just want to stare at the wall. And I put on YouTube and I watch, I try to find something to watch, and watch about half of it and I get bored of that, and I try to find something else to watch and I get bored of that. I'm kind of looking forward to Kerbal Space Program releasing next Friday. So maybe I can play that for a bit and get my mind off of things and see if it runs on my laptop or not. If it blows up my laptop, at least be something for me to get my mind off of things and just not be productive in a game sense, I guess, rather than just be staring straight at the wall. Guys, you don't need a super chat, but thanks a lot. Feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. Parents don't want to be burdened, even if they don't like the nursing home. Learning with suffering is not just suffering, and not everything is what it seems. By learning what suffering is not just suffering, and not everything is what it seems. Yeah. Even Canada healthcare is, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if, it's just going to be rough, I think, anywhere you go, right? Taking care of older people is not easy. And it's also tough for me because I'm by myself. It's like I don't have I don't have a wife or anything like that to kind of, take the burden off or tag team or just, cook me dinner or something or earn the money. Because God knows I don't freaking make much money. That's the other like feeling of being a failure. You guys all. I appreciate that you guys come out here and hang out with me, but this channel doesn't pay for much. This channel doesn't pay at all, hardly anything. Do I want to talk to a professional? Yeah, I know I should, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying to force the chat on you guys to be my therapist necessarily, but the fact of the matter is, whenever I hang out with chat, it makes me feel less bloody alone. So at least we get to hang out and chat about stuff. So have I checked with Lyme disease? Me? Goes misdiagnosed with depression? No, I don't think I live in an area with Lyme disease. But it's a good idea, though. Should check with that. Yeah, I think I maintain my own health. And that's really what it is, I think it's coming down to. And that's really the point where it's just, I can't do it anymore. And it's not necessarily that she's just gotten worse, it's true. But I just can't do it anymore. And I do need to just find a new way, a new balance, or it can't be done. So, yeah, see, you're indeed not alone. People hanging out there. Exactly. And so that's why I'm there. The chat shows you're still part of the world, kind of. Yeah. And also it's like putting stuff on Facebook too, and I get some support. And I feel bad because it's like I know deep down that it's sort of like, cry for help. Somebody give me a shoulder, give me a sympathy. Give me sympathy, everybody. Fundamentally, that's what it is. But there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. As a lot of people have been saying that. Dude, try fasting. Not going to lie, heavier weight. Yeah, no kidding. I'll be honest, like I've been going to the gym. I haven't gone this week because I had that cough and it was really wrecking me. But going to the gym, like, it just makes me feel so much better. Like when I do a good solid workout, so the trick with the gym for me is I have to find a balance where it is hard, but not so hard that I want to die and just quit the gym, period. Right? Hey, Matthews, how you doing? You missed some pretty heavy stuff there. So going to the gym, and then I've discovered a way to sort of balance it in a way that it is I still leave there like to the limit, without also being like I am dead. Like I never want to come back again in my life. And that's a balance, right? Like the thing is, and I realize it may not be the hardest workout I've ever experienced, but it just needs to be just hard enough. So, yeah, definitely agree though. Hitting the gym, and I'll probably want to go, maybe I'll go tomorrow. Like today is just not going to happen. Today's just not going to happen. I'm just going to be frankly honest there. It ain't going to happen today, but I think tomorrow will be good. Sympathy only goes so far, support goes farther. Yep, no kidding. That's why I'm looking for that. That's why I'm going to get her into a care home here. When your mom passes, we'll be here. Yeah, thank you. I mean, it may be soon. I don't know when it'll be. Count for Comment says, the streams make me less lonely these weeks too. Remind me of the time we can speak to real people without fear of affecting professional reputations. That's why you've got a blind account there. Yeah. It's look, part of that too, like I consume a lot of, media, and you there is a lot of fear about reputations and all that stuff and speaking your mind. I don't know. I feel like in a way we have to forge our own futures and not be afraid of, in many ways it feels like I have very, very mainstream views about things, very mainstream views. I once took one of those little political compass tests, and I almost scored a bullseye right in the middle, right in the doggone middle. But the thing is, when I watch like right-leaning news, I feel like I'm supposed to be some sort of crazy conservative. I feel like sometimes, maybe we're not as crazy polarized as even the non-mainstream news wants us to think we are. I don't think we're that. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, find time to go for a walk, get outside, get a dog, go for a walk, borrow one, get some doggos. Yeah, I should probably I got a couple bunnies. My bunnies are not very friendly to me. I should get a little doggo that maybe will hang out with a bunny. Fear is the mind killer. Yep. Yeah, it sure is. Don't like fear. Fear is not good. And, that's the thing. Is like right now, my body and my brain are sort of in this extreme emergency mode, even though the reality situation is not necessarily emergency. It's not really an emergency right now. It really isn't. It's tough, but it's not an emergency. Of course, that's just me because I'm a dude. Because men do not matter in this society. Men do not matter. I'm allergic to cats, though. I like cats. I'd get a cat, but I'm allergic to cats. How's your social life? What social life? This is it. You're talking to it right now. I got a couple friends, but, this is what it is. It's rough when one engages in a medium where one is expected to have an opinion on everything. I have an opinion on everything. It's just I'm kind of really in the middle as far as everything is concerned, which means I'm far right. That's what it is. If you're in the middle, that means you're a crazy right-winger. That's what I am. Crazy right-winger that's like, maybe universal healthcare isn't that bad. Crazy right-winger. Have you tried CBT for any kind of therapy? Chat CBT? Is that what it is? That's Chat CPT. Is that cannabis you're talking about? I don't really care for cannabis. I don't know. Activists doing news want you to be polarized in your points of view, and you don't need to be. Yeah. I feel like news and social media, in a sense, many of this stuff is just, it's like we got nothing better to do, right? We got nothing better to do than to harp on a woman like J.K. Rowling, where now everyone's playing Harry Potter. It's like the best advertising. The people that call her a turf, like they did more advertising for the Harry Potter game than they could have by buying any. There's so many because so many people now are playing Harry Potter. It's just it's crazy. Yeah. Middle is not right winger. Being a constitutional libertarian, now that we're talking right winger, haha, evil laughed. Constitutional libertarianism. Oh, like you terrorist! How dare you believe in following the Constitution? Oh, cognitive behavioral therapy for me or for my mom, because I could probably use that too. Medical chatbot. Oh, there we go. Medical chatbot would be good. Yeah, news makes money on recreational outrage. It's such a annoying. It's such an annoying thing, and it's not news. It's YouTube as well. Everyone's doing it. I do it. What the hell? We all do it. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a scientific ripoff of Buddhist philosophy. Well, that might not be a bad combination there. CBD oil does have a lot of medicinal value. Don't discount it. I'm not trying to. No, I definitely like it. I don't like necessarily the THC parts. It's okay. I'm just kind of avoiding all substances like that for now. Yeah. Modern political spectrum, anyone slightly to the right of Jane Fonda is a Nazi. Yep. You bigot. No, it's just, yeah. I feel like I'm very sensitive to hate. Like I'm maybe hypersensitive to it. So when I see people online and so there's a weird thing going on in my school town where a bunch of the school board has been overturned essentially, and some new school board members are parents, and they got elected basically because they ran on the idea that they're going to get rid of critical race theory, CRT, cathode ray tube televisions. They want no more cathode ray tube televisions in schools. Just get rid of that CRTs. No more CRTs in the classroom. Thank God, right? So, and then there are a lot of teachers. I'm friends with some teachers that are my generation that are so angry that they're trying to do this. And I thought, you're angry because they're trying to fulfill a campaign promise? Like that's what they ran on. They ran on the idea that they want to get rid of critical race theory in the classroom. That's what they ran on, and they won. So that's what they're doing, and you're upset. Like why? I guess I understand why, but I mean, my own personal opinion is I think critical race theory is kind of overblown, both on the right, that it's not as insidious as the right considers. However, it may not be the practical thing to be teaching in schools because it's just one framework, and I don't think it should be the dominant framework. But anyhow, my more deeper understanding of the concept. So yeah, anyhow, I see the teachers hating, like spewing pure hate for the right wingers, and it makes me nervous and makes me scared. It's seeing the kind of vitriol. So see it both ways. Both left and right are both scary because I'm right down the center in that political spectrum. They both look scary to me. I don't like that. Don't like it at all. All right. I appreciate, I'm not going to leave, but I want to kind of move the topic along because it's not, the name of the channel is not Puddle's Pity Party, which is a great channel, by the way. Puddle's Pity Party. Very good singer. Excellent. You should check him out. But it's not a pity party. I don't want it to be totally a pity party, right? So let's just take over the conversation and make fun of some other stuff. Yep. For who for thought as a Christian, I find my worldview helps ground me through tough times. However, I totally get not talking about what you believe on a YouTube stream. I will talk about what I believe essentially. It's just, I don't want to go, I'm not here to alienate people, you know, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to alienate people. And I do work in a very, let's say, very liberal left wing industry. Although I don't say work in it because I'm independent, so I can say what I want. I've noticed the sound on streaming services and the programs to be bad, so unbalanced. It could be an issue, yeah. School should be no place for ideology of any sort, but that's not nigh impossible in any state-run system. It's much worse than the many school boys are treated as broken girls. Yeah, I want to talk a little about that. I think boys are completely left behind in society, and schools are a very big function of that. I really feel, and I don't know how controversial this is. I don't think it is. I've done work for some school districts now for years. And I'll tell you, like, an example, during COVID, the second year of COVID, I recorded a awards ceremony for a high school. And they were giving awards out, senior awards night, right? There's only two or three boys there that got awards. Everyone else were girls. All the girls, like 10 girls got, the whole, at the very end, the seniors got lined up, and it was like literally two boys and like 10 other girls that got all the awards. And everything now is all for girls. Like all the girls in STEM, girls in this, girls in that, and I'm guilty of that because when I get a girl in a media class and she excels, and I really try to help them along because we want women in the field we just want women in the field. It's always good to have women in the field. However, the boys are really getting left out. Like, it's sad how I feel like the boys, no one cares. Like, no one cares about what the boys, if they fail, whatever. Male privilege, I'll tell you a story. I have a student in my class that I thought was a little troublesome, but we had a screening day on Thursday, which all the kids got to see each other's films, which is really good because it gets the kids, now they're kind of part of a class and they're seeing each other's work. And I'm finding that it's the boys, some of the boys are the ones that I need to kind of mentor a little bit because they don't necessarily have one. Like last semester, especially, because I had one kid that was kind of like autistic. And he came up to me like at the very end of the semester and said, man, I hope I'm passing the class. Like, I know I'm kind of a bad student and all that stuff. And I said, dude, you got like a solid 85% in this class. You're passing the class, dude. Like he was shocked. He was like, what? I'm passing it. Like, no, you have 85% of the class. You're doing fine. He ended up with a B in the class, which is exactly what he deserved because he, obviously didn't follow all the instructions, but he was there and he did it. He was a little bit of annoying because he kept asking stupid questions, and that's always fair. But he ended up being one of my, a kid that I appreciate having around. But yeah, anyhow, the boys. I feel like the boys are just expected to just make it. It's like, oh yeah, doesn't matter. If you don't succeed, it's because you just didn't try hard enough. You didn't work hard enough. That's why you didn't succeed, because you didn't try hard enough. If you're a girl, you didn't succeed because there's a glass ceiling. If you're a girl, you didn't succeed because of sexism in the industry. That's why. If you're a boy, no, it's because you're a failure. I feel that way. I feel that way. I literally feel like if I can't, make ends meet or whatever, pay the bills, it's because I didn't work hard enough. But yeah, I think girls always do better in schools because it's listening, conforming. Great men taught themselves and have their own personal philosophy. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Girls are essentially, they do follow, and the school is designed more for girls in a sense. But the men have no. I feel like, okay. Another example is my friend who teaches a middle school. He might be watching. Hey, I don't know if he's watching here, but one day I was looking through his staff, and it's like flip, 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 all these profile pictures, and there's my friend, and I keep flipping, and it took me like another minute before I could find another male at the school. Oh, there's another male. There's like literally like maybe 2 male teachers in the entire school. It's a charter school, but there's only 2 male teachers. You can't tell me, and this is like middle school going to high school. You can't tell me that not having any male influence in schools is not hurting boys growing up, because it's just, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's making me sad thinking about it. It's totally making me sad thinking about how, boys don't have like male role models to work with them, All right, so this other day, so I was going through Twitter the other day, and I saw somebody posted a video of there's an Elvis song where Elvis is singing like, "Come on, little darling, be my baby here," and he's singing the song to this like 12-year-old girl, and they're all dressed like in like Arabic kind of, not necessarily Arabic, but like Middle Eastern garb. So it's kind of like it's a movie that takes place in the Middle East somewhere, kind of not like modern Middle East, but like, I think more like Ben-Hur times, maybe not that early. But anyhow, people were kind of like saying it's kind of creepy because the song's lyrics were a little bit romantic. And I think when I was looking at it, I was like, well, that's our modern perspective on this Elvis song. This Elvis, he's just singing to this 12-year-old girl. I think from their perspective, it was more like Elvis is singing to a 12-year-old girl. It's not a romantic thing. He's just having fun with her. And the lyrics just happen to have, "Come on, baby, I want to take you home. You be mine," that kind of thing. It sounds gross and dirty from our perspective, but we have kind of a jaded, hypersexualized perspective. God, Jason, come on. Thank you for the super chat. Jeez. I didn't come on here to get this, but thank you. I appreciate that. Anyhow, let me get back to my point. Really appreciate it, though. Point was, it wasn't sexual. It shouldn't have been sexual. I don't think it was. I don't think it was Elvis, who's a superstar, just singing to a 12-year-old girl, and she was dancing, and it was wholesome, it was fun. But nowadays everything is super disgusting, sexual. So you can't have Boy Scouts. That's just this, And sure, there are a lot of freaking little weirdo guys that get into Boy Scouts, and something nasty happens. And maybe because we just allowed that to happen. I don't know. Maybe just I don't know. Yeah. Male educators are the cornerstone of showing young boys that knowledge and education is not girly. My favorite high school teacher was a male. My second favorite high school teacher was a male. My high school band directors were male. I'm trying to think of, I have a favorite high school teacher that was female. I remember one that was very important to my life. Who was a female. One. But she was in a class with me and 3 other dudes. And that was the class. It was 4 guys and a girl. And she was a tough lady. But she was a fun lady. I'm trying to think, like most of them were men. How do you, as a middle schooler, learn about how to behave if you don't have any men? I don't know. Maybe I don't think I'm being controversial, right, by saying that. But it's like there needs to be a push for more men in education. Yeah, male suicide is 3 times higher than women. I think because male suicide, here's a terrible joke, right? Because men are more competent than women, especially when it comes to suicide. Like women will often commit suicide, but it's not really committing suicide. It's just more of a cry for help. Whereas men do it, they mean serious business. Like the shotgun blast to the head is not necessarily something you survive from. But no, there's some messed up. There's some glaring big issues with society. Again, here I am saying I think the media is a drums up scary stuff, and here I am saying scary stuff. Saying scary stuff. Oh, scary. Yeah, Goal says my favorite teachers were all male, very different. I'll never forget them. I think I just I've seen a lot of scholarships and awards and things that are made for girls only. And I don't think I've seen a single scholarship for boys only. Is that true? Like I don't think it's even politically correct to say this is a boys only scholarship. There are no women are allowed to get this scholarship. And then the other throw the other, wrench in the whole thing is now we're playing around with like, well, men and women aren't necessarily, it's a social construct and all that stuff. It's like, let's deal with the one problem at a time here, shall we? Yeah, men have to want to take the task of being a school teacher. I feel like, I don't know. Isn't there as a man reaching a certain age, isn't there there's a desire to want to be that mentor state, like most coaches are men, like you go to most men like to coach sports, a lot of band directors, most of the band directors I know are men. It's only one or two female band directors I've known, and they're never as good. Oh, I didn't say that loud. No, I mean, yeah, they're fine, but most band directors are men. Like if you go back to caveman days, right? Caveman days, cave people days, to be completely non-sexist, right? Go back to cave people days. That sounds so stupid. Cave mixing days, cave folks days. Men wanted to take the young men in the tribe and make them men, and give them the masculinity, or go through those trials, and the boys wanted to do that to become men. And there's that hasn't gone away, band was that for me, band camp and all that, you're not saying hazing the new freshmen, but getting them on board, and then they're part of a club. Once they're on board, they're part of something bigger. Military does that. Anyhow. Oh, thank you, Lux. Say I rock. Thank you for the epic videos. Always learning. Yeah, if I can get my mom to situate, I can make more. Well, once I get my mom situated, there's going to be a blackout month. It's just going to be nothing. I'm not going to be able to do much until I readjust my life. Going to flash drive, borrowing mine, yeah. Had one to tell him he's got an A1A on one hand and his high school diploma on the other. It's no brainer to take the deferment. Not sure what that is. My high school band director was a man. He went to prison for having a sexual affair with female students. And the same thing with I had a math teacher that was very like that. And he ended up being a math teacher I actually liked. And he ended up having in the prison for that. But how much of that is just our effed up society that girls maybe exposed to porn early on think that that's what they need to do, and they don't value themselves, and maybe the boys not being afraid to approach the girl. I don't know, or these guys are just these. I mean, let's not take away the authority. These guys are just these are just nasty people. Because I mean, I joke. I have a very pervy joke of mine, but there's nothing sexy about a high school girl. It really isn't. It really isn't. They're not. I mean, they're just not. They're not. They're not even interesting. It's a power thing, obviously. Yeah. I'd love to be an educator, but how do you take care of your family, be a breadwinner, and buy a house on a teacher's salary? In California, you can kind of pull it off because California teachers get paid pretty well. Like California teachers get paid pretty well. Unfortunately, California housing market is so insane that it probably is very hard still to get to buy a house with a teacher's salary. So, I mean, California teacher salary start about $50,000 a year, and you go up from there depending on your experience and obviously what kind of education you have. I don't know. I saw how much my college was paying a full-time professor. And the full-time professorship in my college is $70,000 to $120,000 a year. And I'm like, ooh, that looks promising. If it opens up, I would seriously consider it. Because something did open up for a job opening, but it wasn't my field, and it was in a campus that was way further away from me. But yeah, so there's a lot of money in education. There's in California spends way too much money in education. There's a lot of administrators too. So it's super layered as far as how much money there is. Anyhow, that's a whole nother subject matter because there's no end to that. How much money is involved in education? There's a lot. I've never been on a live stream, but your channel has snowballed me into a budding film career. Awesome. Good. Stick with it. Don't give up. Life throws stuff at you. Hey, Daniel Saldivar, how you doing? I graduated 40 years ago, and there was no internet. LOL. Yep. I graduated 23 years ago, and there was dial-up internet back in my day. But how many professor positions are there available? Lots of adjuncts for sure. Yeah, there's not that many. So, how do you call black male nowadays? Male of African descent? Oh my God. I'm not going to take credit for that. You're going to get canceled by yourself. I'm not responsible for anybody getting credit there. Any new movie recommendations? I don't have a whole lot this month. What did I watch? I rewatched Gone Girl. That's what it was. Yeah. I watched Gone Girl again. I hadn't seen it since it came out. And it's amazing how much of Gone Girl I remembered from the original movie. Like, I only watched it once, but that movie was I watched it so well received and so memorable to me that I remembered every beat of Gone Girl. And still, I have a better appreciation of it on the second viewing than I did. At the first viewing, I was like, that's a good movie. But the second time I watched it, I was like, that's a masterpiece. It is so well made and so well done. And Matthews and I sometimes talk about frame rate all the time, right? So you can't help but notice all the pans in Gone Girl are so good looking. The pans are just perfect. The panning in Gone Girl is exquisitely done. Like, no one can complain about stutter and the panning of Gone Girl because it is so good. So good. 1923 is a good show, and PBS has a remake of All Creatures Great and Small. Now I'm watching Halo. Delsean Prejean says, dude. Right back at you. I saw Once Upon a Time in the West for the first time. Anyone not seen it would highly recommend. Oh yeah, it's a longer movie, but it's a classic and it burns so well. It doesn't have the energetic like speed of something like the Dollars trilogy, but Once Upon a Time in the West has an epic, and the music is freaking good. Yeah, Fincher's films are tight, technical genius. Yeah, he's a pretty good filmmaker. Pretty good, pretty good. For unusual science fiction, I recommend The Quiet Earth. There you go. The Quiet Earth. I haven't heard of that one. Halo sucked, apparently. I don't know. I never played the game. Can you believe it? I'm a certain age and I never played Halo. I never played Xbox. Xbox is not my thing. I was a PC gamer. I know you can get Halo for a PC, but it never was my thing. Have I thought about doing videos on lenses? No, because everybody does that video. Like, and the other problem was I haven't actually seen Barry Lyndon. But like literally everybody does a video on the lenses of Barry Lyndon. It's like the most overplayed topic. Did I watch Puss in Boots? No, I have not seen Puss in Boots yet. Yeah. The music was perhaps my favorite part of OUATITW. Okay, that's going to be interesting to figure out what that acronym stands for. How the, no. Once Upon a Time in the, okay, Once Upon a Time in the West. Wow, that's a tough one. Okay. Have I watched the Apu trilogy? No, I have not, but I watched a couple of his movies, his shorts, that I really, really love. The guy that made the Apu trilogy. When are you bringing back guests on the live stream? Probably not for this one, because this is my selfish hog the mic moment. Unless I can figure out, unless we can get my channel going a little bit more, I can add a live stream that it's more of a guest stream. We could do because I watch a lot of those streams where they have multiple guests and all that stuff. That'd be kind of fun. I would like to do that. I'm watching The Good Titanic from 1996 with Catherine Zeta-Jones. Oh, come on. The other one's pretty good too. So one of my students, this is awesome. Their first project was to go online. I gave them all these free stock video sites and say, find some stock footage, free stock footage, find free stock footage and create a montage. And here's some music, and then they all have a subscription to Universal Production Music Library. That's a really good library. Grab some music, grab some stock footage, make a 1 to 3 minute video, and that's what they did. They turned it in. And so this one kid, he did this project where he recreated Titanic, James Cameron's Titanic. He recreated that using only stock footage he was able to find for free. And it was great. And the class just loved it. It was hilarious. It was awesome. Where do I teach? I teach at the Mount San Jacinto College, Mount San Jacinto Junior College in Menifee, California. I teach a video class, and we're talking about doing a cinematography class next year that they want me to teach. And I'm like, yes, I want to teach that because that sounds like fun. Hopefully, I depends on how things are going. I may opt to try to teach 2 classes next year. That'd be cool. I don't know if I have the time though. We'll see. We'll see how my life changes if once I get my mom situated. Maybe I actually have some time in my life. Who knows? Oh, Delshawn, you're now watching Gone Girl. It's a trip. The cool thing about Gone Girl though is you have to. It doesn't really work in the media environment today. Like it is a reference to a certain kind of media environment that existed in the late 2010s. Like, have you guys noticed this? But ever since, the BLM riots and all that stuff, the news won't touch a white girl that's missing. The news will not cover a blonde white girl like that's missing anymore. They won't do it. So Gone Girl is sort of a callback to a time when that's all they talked about was blonde white girls that have gone missing. So from that perspective, like you have to kind of view that from that kind of media landscape. But yeah, when's the last time you saw the news get insane over a missing white girl? Haven't happened for a long time. Think about it, or don't. Doesn't matter. If you have a cinematography class and things are not easy, settle for talking about Barry Lyndon lenses. So a cinematography class is, because I think, the philosophy that I teach in terms of these classes is, the reality is, and this applies to all you guys watching too. Hollywood is something that most of you will not actually engage with, ever. Even if you make a living doing this, you may not ever engage in Hollywood. Like the Hollywood system, the Hollywood way of doing things, maybe affects 0.1% of all media jobs in existence is Hollywood. It's a tiny, 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 tiny portion of the reality of the world out there that's available for us as filmmakers, media makers, content creators, whatever you want to call us, right? So when it's a cinematography class, it's not going to be, here's how we're going to light and direct for Hollywood necessarily. It's going to be like, let's get you really good at shooting, really good at operating a camera, whatever that camera happens to be. And I think with the direction in the cinematography class, at least the first portion might be entirely done on cell phones. Maybe the first few weeks is all cell phone based cinematography. And just because I want you to operate your cell phone as best as you can. And I want you to focus on exposure and composition. Exposure, composition. And I'm going to drill the crap out of that. And then we might break out the bigger cameras, like the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. And that's obviously not a high-end camera, but it's a more higher. I mean, the student that I was talking, I showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh wow, this is the most expensive camera." I'm like, "Well, it is. It is." Even Biden does not get time in the news. I mean, I don't know. The news is the news. I don't watch news. YouTube is my network. Yeah. So anyhow, so my point with all that is that cinematography, I don't really care a whole lot, what people shot, what these how you shoot these movies or how they're lit. They're not super important, at least not super interesting to me. Is more so like what can you do with your resources? Because I think the future is going to be a lot less Hollywood, a lot more YouTube, a lot more, whatever, podcasts, whatever kind of content we can create outside of Hollywood. I think that's where the landscape is moving toward. Not Hollywood's going to be Hollywood. It's always going to exist, and there's always going to be a small percentage of people that will be able to find work and go there and get work and do stuff there. But I feel like there's going to be a much greater need for being outside of Hollywood. Being like way outside of Hollywood. The channel George Rocco Schmidt has some interesting videos about independent filmmaking and the quirky stuff too. There you go. There's a suggestion. Joe Bob Briggs said it best. Hollywood doesn't exist. Hollywood is right in your living here. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. The best Disney classics weren't faithful adaptations. They were emotionally sincere, full artistry, like charm and fantastic animation. The dwarves are incredible. Speaking of Disney killing fairy tales, the original Little Mermaid died, then it had to seek redemption through service. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, in the fairy tale. Yeah. Yeah. Disney is in serious trouble. Pray for Disney. Pray for Disney. So on Reddit, they were talking about how Marvel's is going up against Dune 2. Like that poster of Marvel's and Dune 2 were slated back to back, I guess. And the consensus, the bet was that they're probably going to move Dune up or further back because Dune might be a Oscar contender. So They didn't want to put it up against Marvel's, but I'm thinking like Dune 2 or the Marvels. Dune 2 or the Marvel movie or whatever. Marvel. I don't care. Dune 2. I'll go see Dune. I don't want to see some weird Marvel movie about all these girl power. Yes, the boys don't matter. Only the girls matter. Boys drool, girls rule, right? Anyhow. Yep. Doesn't matter what something is shot on. I'd rather watch a good story shot on an iPhone than a crap on an Alexa. Absolutely. Totally agree. Totally agree. The important thing though is you gotta make that iPhone work for you. Not the way Steven Spielberg did it with nothing. Moving away from Hollywood is honestly a big relief because the scope of what stories will be told will be a bold new horizon. I harked about this last week, and I'll hark about it again. The instinct that Bob Iger came back to Disney, and it seems like the instinct was to double down on sequels, is a sign that the company is in dire straits, and it's just done. Like like I was saying the other day, instead of Bob Iger coming to Disney and saying, "Hey, they've got this amazing story, guys. I can't wait for you to share it with you. It's based on this fairy tale, but it's about this little boy who writes in his journal every day, and every day he creates a new story, and then one day the stories come true, but I can't wait to share with you this brand new story. We've got Amy Adams on board. We've got Jason Sudeikis. It's going to be an amazing movie. I think the whole family can have a great time with it. It's going to be a new classic. I guarantee it's going to be wonderful. You guys are going to love it." No. Instead we get, "You liked Zootopia, didn't you? Well, here's some new Zootopia to make fun, to apologize for the fact that we were racially insensitive in the first one." It's like, no, I'm being sarcastic there, but no, it's more like we're going to give you more stuff you already like. Instead of coming out and just trying to pitch something new. Something new. Like, what's left? We're done. It's over, right? It's over. It's over when the CEO brought back to save the company can't pitch something new. Can't get people excited about something new. We're done. The company's done. Disney is dead. It just is. I mean, it's gonna survive. It's gonna piddle along for a little longer. It's gonna keep chugging away because it's got so much momentum and money behind it. Yeah. Hey, Truth Mystery. Just getting into Disney Park one day is $109 to $189. Yeah. How much does it cost to park at the park? Like 40. Last time I went to Disneyland, it was like $40 to park in the parking lot. I don't know what it is now. It's got to be more than that, right? So, with editing software we have today, should any film look low budget anymore? It shouldn't. Here, you know what? I'll show you this real quick. Let's see if I can pull this up. So I did talk about directing a short film last week. Let me just pull this up here. Oh crap! I don't even know what the heck is here. So I directed it last week, and I thought it was really good. I ended up editing it really fast. Like faster than I've ever edited, because I'm just hiccuping now for some strange reason. But I was really excited. I edited it really quickly. I'm trying to pull up this. So I'll show you what came out of that video, or what of that little shoot. I don't think they'll mind if I show you guys. Let's see if it pulls up. There it goes. So I won't play through the whole thing necessarily. Fade. Wee. I'm over down here. Get that thing off of me. Wrong way. So this is the short film that I shot last week. I don't know if the sound is coming through. I think it is. But this is all shot in about...
I'm sorry. This isn't working out, is it?
About
Here we go.
3 hours.
Just say it, Dan.
I shot this, and there's only a single light used
Just
for
say
this
what
whole
you're going
thing.
to say.
I think one of us should
Shot all
move out.
handheld. Messed up my arm doing it a little bit.
I do too.
I'm sorry.
But...
What?
I said I'm sorry.
For what? What are you sorry for?
I'm sorry this isn't working out. I need more time.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? You know, you started out really strong and now you're just whimpering out. Why didn't you just quit while you were ahead?
Yeah, that's what I thought I was doing.
Well,
Anyhow,
good.
so you can see
I know why I'm leaving, but what's your
the production
story?
quality
What killed this for
is,
you?
You know,
Radical
not
change in lifestyle?
extreme,
Decide you wanted to
but
travel
for a
light?
drama,
Come on,
you don't
Dad.
need
Or you're just worried
necessarily
that somebody
a whole
better
lot
is going
of
to come along and you're going to be
production
stuck with me?
Look, why can't you see this for
You know,
what it
obviously I
is?
didn't
And
light
what
it,
is
so
it,
I did have
Dan?
one
What
light
it
on the
is,
shot.
nothing more, nothing
not
less.
that
Just two
hard to
people
do.
screwing until they get sick of each other.
I think
That's
you guys are
great.
hating
That's
on me. I'm
really
probably talking
cool.
over the
I
audio.
don't want to be married.
I'll let it finish.
I don't want to be tied down. I'm not happy. I don't love you anymore.
Fine. I'm done. And you can go back to doing whatever it is you want to do with whoever you want to do it. Whatever orifice you want to do it in.
Hey, when you leave here, you take one thing. I never
That was
fooled
really
around.
quiet.
Not once.
my audio.
Let's just give you a fucking medal. Forgive me, I didn't know it was that big of a sacrifice.
All right, my audio might be a little low compared to the videos. All right, so there's that. So I shot that. That's really more of an acting demo than it's not a, you know, not a short film. It's just an acting. It was designed to be an acting reel material. That's what it was for. So interesting games with lens focus. Yeah, I mean, is trying to focus it. But I shot that in 3 hours, one light, you know, just really, really basic. And the fun part was directing it. Thank you, the excellent performances. I will take credit for some of that. I mean, obviously, director and working with actors, it's a. You can hear my cough there. It's a, you know, it's what you call it, integrated thing. That's some bad acting, J-Man. I disagree. I think that was good acting. I'm not sure what you think that was bad about that acting. You know, what's this video from? It is it was an acting reel that I was doing for these actors. Yeah. Very convincing with the light. So, I mean, you're using natural lighting. So I was just using the light to create a little bit of highlight. Basically, and I didn't write it too. So part of the exercise was to just basically create this without without writing anything. I'll just show you visually where the lights are. That is Ned Flanders, my friend Thurman. But yeah, the light there is coming back and just hitting the back there. I'm basically deciding using the light as a way to, we're usually otherwise using natural light in the apartment. You know, here kind of, they're not really super well lit. But here are the lights coming from the left side. I'm sorry, I don't even have you guys on. Here he is. Here are the lights coming from the left side into the shot. I'm really more interested in. This is to me the most properly lit shot was the lights kind of creating that fill on the right side of the face, and it leads to the best shot, which is back here at the very end. My ugly face is right over here. Here we go, somewhere here. that kind of two shot where you have the lighting coming from the right, kind of filling up the details, just giving me that little separation. But again, no gaffer, just me, just a camera, some wireless lavs. That's it. Now, had we spent more time on that, maybe it'd be better. Had I actually had that scene been part of a larger script, maybe it'd be better. Why not? Why couldn't it be? Sure. There's no reason why it couldn't be couldn't be better. There's no reason why it couldn't be a small little short movie or a full length movie. Who knows? But you could shoot this thing, you could literally do it for nothing. If, well, I've got a nice camera and some nice equipment and some nice microphones. So yeah, I have some gear, but I'm just saying all this stuff can be done without Hollywood. Is it Hollywood level? Of course not. Of course it isn't Hollywood level. But who cares? For what this is, I think it showcases their acting a little bit better, sees them in a little bit more of a, just see them in light. I turned the audio on a line and then I rewind to watch the whole thing. Oh, okay. Looks like we're sick buddies. Hope we get better soon. I'm something. I'm also exhausted. There are always trends and tropes in popular and mainstream work any era. Tropes are not bad. It's how you use them, and all the eras are fascinating. That said, I don't like any sexual fan service. Ooh, sexual fan service sounds like something I'd be into, because I'm a perv. Can you talk about the blocking and how you developed it? Yeah, sure. For that scene, because that's really my. I'm still. Yeah. Well, I'm in the corner. I'm covering my face. I keep forgetting. All right. I'm just going to take me off the screen so you can see this thing. So when I get there, the first thing I do is I sit down and look at the apartment and I look at the spacing, because I know I wanted this scene to not be played out sitting. And I didn't want it to be played out essentially in a two shot or in a two shot. Just wanted to avoid that period. So we had to give the actors, obviously I like the idea of the two actors not facing each other. If you kind of notice that, I mean, maybe this is kind of this is sort of a happy accident technique, but basically they start off not facing each other and they end up not facing each other. Again, I did not write this script, so I didn't write the script, so I don't have any input or insight into what the script was about. It's an acting exercise script, so it's, it doesn't matter what it's about. It's whatever I want to make it about, right? I'm the boss here. I'm the director now. I'm the captain here. So I essentially did want, but looking at the script, I did want it's a breakup scene. So you want the people to be essentially not dealing with each other, and then they're kind of forced to deal with each other. So I wanted to start off with in a two shot where you had, they're looking looking away from each other, and then so you need some movement. You need some sort of movement to kind of bring them all together, right? This is really more of a cover shot. I didn't really care to have that cut there, but it works okay. So I needed to bring him to the kitchen for the confrontation. So I had him go look for something in the fridge. And this is a take for her. I talked about this last week a little bit, in that I said this is a cheating shot. So she's not really looking at him. She's looking at another thing, but it looks like she's looking at him. But I wanted that profile. It worked out good here. This is more of a moment found in editing, where she essentially, like, are we going to do this? We're going to do this. We're going to do this, and this is what we're going to do. All right, so I didn't want that little moment. So her job there at that point was to go around the kitchen to create some motion, but I didn't really need it. So now I'm here with him in the refrigerator, and she shows up again. So again, a lot of the stuff that we can play into like more of a master shots or medium shots, so that there's a little bit more interaction, a little more acting, rather than everything being done in the edit. I hate when things are just everything done in the edit. I just hate that style of filmmaking where it's just like back and forth ping pong tennis, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I like moving actors in and out of scenes where they can communicate, they can talk, and they can be like an acting situation, right? So I shot some coverage of this other ways, but this ended up being better just to leave this in this master shot. It just felt better. His responses weren't particularly interesting here in the script wise. And this point here is when I decide. So this is the dividing point in the script. I guess I put the volume up a little bit here.
You wanted to travel light?
So at that point is when I go into that back and forth cutting. And if you do notice, I do kind of cross the 180-degree line. It's not a huge deal here.
Why I'm leaving, but what's your story?
Because you can kind of see what's happening.
Radical change in lifestyle?
So at this point, we go in, and I hate the shadow. So yeah, I agree with you. I hate the shadow on her face there, but it is what it is.
Come on,
Or are you
Debbie.
just worried
So,
that something better's going to come along and you're going to be stuck with
At this point, and I did want a dirty shot because I wanted this to be intimate because I wanted them kind of get into each other's faces. They get into this little fight here.
each other. That's great. That's really
So I really didn't want to purposely dirty up the shot, and then it becomes kind of a standard back and forth. But this is you can do that here because we've earned it. We've got to this point, and yeah, and then let that scene go. This is that one line here I think I talked about last week. This line is written in a way that he says, I don't want to get married. I don't want, I don't want to have kids. I don't love you anymore. Whatever the line is there. And I purposely did insert this pause because I wanted this to be more of a, like his easy. If you notice, like at the point here, the direction was kind of to avoid looking at her, to try to build up his own emotion. She's staring right at him,
I don't want to be
but see, he's not looking at her yet.
I
He's
don't want to be tied down.
kind of building up his emotion.
Not happy.
And then the pause is the looking at her. And that's when you deliver the line, the
I don't love you.
stabby little line there, right there. Right? So that's the point. That's the blocking of that. And then it just naturally made sense from there to, let me get rid of myself here. Naturally made sense from there to go into the two shot there. Just, it felt cinematic. It felt right to do that. It made sense. So that's how the blocking worked. But I thought that was so much fun to do. Am I the god among blocking? Yes, of course I am. I am the god. I am John the God. Just kidding. Yeah, he said he didn't love her very much anymore, which is very harsh, which is exactly why he said it. He said it to hurt her. It was not a statement of fact. It was really kind of a way to just stick a knife in her heart. That's why he said it. Yeah. So that's what I like about acting and directing and editing and all that, is you get to mold a performance and stuff like that. I should make a space cop. Yeah, I should. Back and forth editing is good for sport and action content mainly. It could be. It depends. Like I use that there because sometimes the back and forth allows you to look at an actor for a while, so that you can study them for a bit visually. If you let stuff play on a master, it's the master shot tends to, you're not directing necessarily the focus of the viewer so much at the subject matter, and in some ways, I was getting an argument with somebody on YouTube comments about how basically I'm an adult. I don't need to be told where to look. Well, my job as a director is to make you look at something. Is to guide your focus onto something. And sometimes you do that with composition. Sometimes you do that with blocking. Sometimes you do that with lighting. There's lots of ways to do it. But sometimes you do want to you want to go back to that tried and true close up and just back and forth on the close up for a while. Yeah, Chuck says, I like that they start apart, not looking at each other, then they come together for confrontation and end up apart, not facing each other. Yeah, I think that worked out good, didn't it? I don't know if it was subconsciously. I didn't start out thinking I would do that, but it just kind of happens that way. That's the great thing about, that's the great thing about that kind of scene. You used extra lights in the shots or just natural light. So use natural light for the most of it, and then just one light that was that accent light. and you really only see, you see it only a couple times. You see it like in this shot right here. That light from on her hair and that light on his hair and his shoulders, that's artificial light. Everything else is natural light from that room. And you see a little bit in the very beginning, pretty much, yeah. So, but yeah, I used the aperture 300 on that one. So, I think the best directors are probably very difficult and almost fascistic. I don't think so. I think the best directors are probably have a very, very calm understanding. I don't think Nolan's a fascist. Necessarily or controlling the atmosphere of the Iron Fist. I don't think so. I think the best directors are firm. They present a vision, and they inspire. I think that's what the best director. I think if you're thinking like somebody like David Fincher, he's probably very, very demanding, very expecting, but I imagine he probably communicates very, very well. Cross the 180 degree run. Exactly. I think I'm pretty sure I did, although you could make a case where I didn't. If you push hard enough, the idea that basically when the actors reverse themselves, they also sort of reverse their blocking. It's a minor thing. Who knows? But but it also felt like the 180 degree crossing might have been a good subconscious level, because that's kind of the crossing of the scene. Like the scene flips from being distant apart to cross 180 degree, and then you're back. But anyhow. But yeah, I don't think fascistic is a bad thing. Well, I know what you're saying, but I don't necessarily think ruling by an iron fist is what a director, because remember, like a director pulls people that are creative together to do things. So you don't want to rule by fear. You want to rule by joy, essentially. You want to encourage your actors and your cast members to give you your best, not to be afraid of screwing up, right? Jack Ripper says, great directors are great communicators. Making a movie is mostly conversations and compromises. Exactly. And communicating what it is, the end goal. Because I think a great director, like the thing with this scene here, like I did not, no, sorry, I keep going to my voice. I did not tell these actors, hey, you're going to stand here and deliver this line exactly this way. Like the director is there to facilitate and to bring people's on board and to do things. Like the director doesn't sit there behind the wardrobe and be like I want that stitch exactly this way. This way is exactly the way. No, the wardrobe the wardrobe person has to understand what the director is looking for, and then come up with their idea of what they want to do, and then present it to the director, and the director gives notes. And that's what the director does. The director's a cat herder. Yeah, exactly. So I think a bad director is a fascist. A bad director doesn't allow anybody to have their way or have a feeling of contribution or fear of retribution for making a mistake or something like that. Great directors have a very clear idea what they want to do. They give their blood, but they want yours. Depends. I don't know if a great director necessarily always has a clear idea of what they want to do. Sometimes a great director has a idea of what they think they want. Think of it this way too. The director may have a vision of something, but they don't necessarily know how to get there. Like sometimes it's the actors that have to know how to help them get there, right? Or the costumer, or the set designer, or the cinematographer, right? The director might have a vision for a feeling, or for that they understand the story so well that this is how to serve the story. This is how I think we'll work to serve the story, and then everybody else sort of inserts their own like they submit their own ideas of how to do it, and the director's job is to say, I think that idea works. I think that idea works. That idea I don't like. I don't think that will work for this thing. I don't like that. That's not going to work. That will work. Let's try this with that, and then this with that, and see how that works together. Like that's what a director does. Nate Dolar, I did not direct that. Oh, hi, John. Yeah, great directors are good at casting too. Yeah, and there's also good casting directors too. Yeah, but everybody picks Kubrick as the example, right? Because Kubrick was a fascist toward Shelley Duvall. You're not wrong on that, but everybody picks on that. Like one movie. It's only one movie. It's only one movie, and I'm not sure even if that was really that great of a directing choice to do that. If that was like could he have gotten something better out of Shelley Duvall by not doing that? I don't know. Like that's the other thing. I think, Kubrick is God. We all agree, but he's not above criticism. And I'm not sure if that was the best approach to do that. I don't even know if that approach generated a performance that was that memorable. Like I'm not sure if her performance is what made that movie. If it's not that, I mean, I feel like Jack's performance is what everybody goes to, right? Was that worth it? I don't know. Right? Kubrick is an exception. His films are cold and lack humanity, but he's my favorite director. Yeah. Yeah, Kubrick did a lot of psychological tricks with his actors. Shelley drew the short straw with him. Yeah, perhaps. I know there's a story about that one muscle man from the big muscular guy from Clockwork Orange, and he had to carry that guy in the wheelchair. And he's like, oh God, Kubrick's known for doing like 100 takes. Like I hope he gets. So he ends up doing like 1 or 2 takes of lifting that guy. And luckily he was like, okay, that's enough. The truth is, I mean, it's a fair question though. Was the coldness or was the directorial tricks that Kubrick utilized on his actors, was that responsible for the performances? Or could it have been done a more humane way, if we want to use that term? And I'm sure, could there be people that deliver amazing performances without having played mind games on? You'll never know. So it's a question that can be debated forever. David Prowse, thank you. That's the guy. Yeah, thank you. He was Chewbacca, wasn't he? Or am I thinking of something else? But yeah, he told that story about Kubrick, right? The problem with Jack's performance is, he's nuts from the get-go, but rather a slow burn as he descends into madness. That's true. Oh, Darth Vader, thank you. Darth Vader, not Chewbacca. Come on, John, get your David Prowse right. Get your Star Wars trivia in line here, you poser, you bigot. I feel like with movies, it's more important these days for actors to have fun and let actors do their thing. In TV, not so much. It depends. Yeah, it depends. It depends. I think that scene that I did there, it wasn't a fun scene, right? It wasn't a fun scene. And I feel like I didn't push the actress too hard, but I noticed she was going places where she was pulling tears. And so I was like, can you do this one more and go deep? And she delivered. And that's the take that you saw there. You can go there. But I think for an actor, for me, those kind of scenes, they may not be necessarily fun in the moment, but they're satisfying. They're satisfying to do it. Malcolm McDowell said Kubrick would have been a genius if he had more humanity and treated humans better. Maybe. Another example from Clockwork Orange is that whole scene with Singing in the Rain, right? The whole part of Singing in the Rain was not in the script. It was not Kubrick's idea. It was Malcolm McDowell's idea. He just did it. And Kubrick loved it so much he ended up getting on the phone and saying, "Hey, I need the rights to Sing in the Rain. Don't ask." Right? So, a Taiwanese writer, Gung Lo, wrote, "The best swordman is the one most mad about sword arts." Oh, nice. You didn't give your opinion on where the crawdads sing. I never saw that. So I gotta see that movie, I guess. What if Vader was a tiny person? Would his name be Dorf Vader? Very good. Well done. Gold star for Nadoler. Right there. Hand that man an Oscar. All right. Same with Here's Johnny. It was all Jack. There you go. Come on, send. Did it freeze on me? There we go. Send. How long have I been on here? I feel better, guys. Thank you for chatting with me. Feel a little more human. A little more human. What time is it? I don't know. What time is it? 5:30? How long have I been on here? An hour and a half or so? Something like that. Let's see here. Where's that comment there? I was going to pull that one up. Do you have any favorite establishing shot? I love Bambi's opening. It's a very long, slow, panning shot of the forest. There's so many layers of depth, and it's so gorgeous and beautifully drawn. Good old establishing shots. Let's think about some. You know, it's interesting. Just to talk about Gone Girl. Like the first shot of Gone Girl is looking down on Rosamund Pike's head, and she looks up at the face of Ben Affleck's character, you know, and it's bookmarked at the very end too, but I think it's obviously a different look up, and it's remarkable, like how the beginning is sort of an angelic, and the very end it's like sort of you're just hating this person, and that's not an establishing shot, is it? I don't know. I'm trying to think of an establishing shot. Sing the trumpet for us one of these days? Yeah, I haven't played in a while. I gotta play. I'm booked to do Jesus Christ Superstar in May, so I gotta get my lips ready for that. It's not that hard of a show. I've done it before. Not done it on a single trumpet. This time doing Jesus Christ Superstar is going to be a one single trumpet book. Last time I did it was a 2 trumpets, so I was playing second. So this time will be just me going dun 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 dun. Da, 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 da. And because it's Andrew Lloyd Webber, do that 50 more times, John. Da, 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 da. Keep going. Da, da, da. I can't wait till it goes bump, 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 bump. Bump, bump, ba-dum, bump, bump, ba-dum, bump, bump, ba-dum. I'm going to do that. That's going to be fun. I know Jesus Christ Superstar by heart. I know every song in that book by heart. I don't know every Andrew Lloyd Webber song. Andrew Lloyd Webber has made a lot more musicals than I know. But I don't know them because they haven't been successes. Like I know Cats, I know Evita, I know a Superstar, Phantom of the Opera. Those are the 4. Those are the 4 that I like. Then there's like weird ones that I don't like, the Phantom of the Opera sequel, Love Never Dies or something like that. And then there's like one which is a story about these kids that find a hobo living in a barn, but he has like amnesia, and the kids think that the hobo is actually Jesus Christ returned to earth. I forget the name of that. That was based on a movie. So Can I sing the Star Wars intro? Yeah. Star Wars. Can't you have Star Wars here in the town? It's gonna be a fun night here at Star Wars. We're nothing but Star Wars as far as you can see. There you go. That's Star Wars. That's how the Star Wars intro goes. That's the singing. If you're old enough to understand that reference, then I am so happy that you are here on stream with me right now. If you don't know what that reference is, look up Bill Murray. Yeah, Starlight Express. We don't talk about Starlight Express. Starlight Express is, oh my God. Like I listened to, like, occasionally I had the Broadway radio come on and I listened, like it just cycles through a bunch of Broadway songs and Starlight Express comes on and I'm like, ooh, that was a tough one. That was some cocaine on that one. A lot of cocaine being done on that. Denise Vagra says, I got scared for you when I saw the title. Are you okay? I'm okay now. I'm okay, Annie. But you rewind back. I won't go back and talk about that. Yeah, Jack Ripper says Bill Murray. Exactly. Carrie Fisher sings the Star Wars in the holiday special. Well, dang it. I was doing the Bill Murray impersonation. How much does a terrible ending affect your feelings of a movie or TV show? I think it doesn't affect me much. At least it hasn't. I think it can be generally appreciate what I like from anything. I agree. I feel like most of the time a good ending or a bad ending will make me not love something. A bad ending will... I'm not as harsh on bad endings, I guess. I think I'm kind of closer to you on that. Like I don't automatically hate everything else if the ending sucks so bad. I don't know. I've had movies where I kind of hated, like I loved it at first, but then it just dragged on so much that I ended hating it. But I love the black and white video and the light that comes from the brass of trumpets and saxes. Cool. There you go. Black and white video, trumpets and saxophones. Check out Jesus Christ Superstar, the movie. Was that Norman Jewison? It's an ironic name. Isn't that who did Jesus Christ Superstar? Or am I thinking of someone else? The movie Superstar. Ted Neely, was it, that did this? The character, played Jesus. There it is. 73. Norman Jewison. He also did. Did Norman Jewison do Fiddler too? It's kind of ironic. His name was Jewison. Son of God, who's a Jew. Did Superstar. It's like perfect. He's like, and then he went on to do. Fiddler on the Roof, which is like, that makes sense too. Fiddler on the Roof is it's a good movie, but it does have a long, feels long. Ted Neely. Yeah, Ted Neely is Jesus Christ Superstar. Ted Neely's he's not in relation to Ab Neely, is he? I wonder. I don't think so. Well, they kind of look alike, Ted Neely and oh my God, dude, Ted Neely and Adam Neely kind of look alike. All right, am I going crazy here? Do you guys know who Adam Neely is? Adam Neely is a cool bass player. He's a bass player, has a YouTube channel. Oh, they spell their names completely differently, so yeah, never mind. They look alike. But yeah. I don't know what we were talking about, Jesus Christ Superstar. Why are we talking about this? Other than the fact I'm going to be doing it. Dot, 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 dot. All right. Yeah, the Casablanca script is insanely good. Insanely good. Like, that's an example of a script that was being written like the day before they would shoot it. It was going to be constantly rewritten. But that script, you know what's really good, Matthias? Watch The Sweet Smell of Success. If you want another example of a script that's just so tightly written, or not tightly, but so cleverly written, Sweet Smell of Success. And it's more of an indie film, but it's an indie film starring Burt Lancaster and the guy from Some Like It Hot. What's his name? Anyhow, check out Sweet Smell of Success. I love that movie. Ant-Man is a waste of time. That's what I hear. I have no interest in seeing it. Oh, thank you, Denny's. Thank you for that. I'm gonna go get some beer. I'm gonna go get some barbecue. Actually, I'm gonna get some barbecue. There's this place called Dave B's Barbecue, and I haven't had any barbecue in a long time, and I just feel like rotten. So I'm definitely gonna get some, and I'm gonna get like a big beef rib and some chicken, and take home some for my mom. I'm gonna smash it up so I can give it to her for dinner, and I'm gonna have some. But I'll eat it first, and I'll take her home the leftovers. She'll my leftovers. Jack D says, love Sweet Smell of Success. Yeah, and that movie is like I think it's underappreciated. And you know who got me onto that movie was actually Tony Zhao. Not personally. I mean, he just did a lot of review, or he referenced it a lot in a lot of his movies. Tony Curtis, thank you. He referenced it a lot in his video essays. So I said, what is this movie? I'm curious about this thing. So I'm shocked that there's gambling at Rick's. I'm shocked. How dare you? Here you're winning, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, Norman Jewison isn't Jewish? That's awesome. Norman Jewison is not Jewish, which Topol joked about in the set of Fiddler on the Roof. That is interesting. That is really. Norman Jewison is Jewish. Not going to be put on a list. He is often mistaken for being Jewish, because it's Fiddler, but Jewison and his family are Protestant from English descent. Cool. That's the thing. Like we can have a little bit of fun with that, and not be taking all this so seriously. I'm glad we can have a little laugh. I'm sure he has a laugh with it too. Oh, geez. I missed this comment because it was blocked for a second. I don't know why it would be blocked. Thank you for not being... recently saw Avatar 2 in a 3D theater. You're absolutely right about the mixed match frame rate shit show. Because you said shit. That's why it got blocked. Appalling work for a major movie house. Yeah, and it's made $2 billion, right? Like... Don't I have egg on my face for saying it was an awful experience, even though I agree. I totally thought it was the absolute worst experience a movie theater ever had. But it's going to make $2 billion. So whatever your tastes are, John, right? You're all, you're so wrong. Don't make me watch Sallow, dude. I'm not watching Sallow. You guys can all like tell me to watch Sallow. I am not watching Sallow. Fuck Sallow. I'm not watching that movie. I have enough dealing with poop already. I don't need to watch Sallow, for God's sakes. I'll watch Avatar 2 and mixed frame rates again before I watch Sallow. I'm thinking about watching Bring Up Baby. Yeah, Bring Up Baby is awesome. Definitely worth watching that one. Oh. Thank you, Nate's Film Tutorials. I'll be the goal is to make more. I'm going to make more. I may, tell me what you guys think, but I think I might go back and redo, like a camera lens videos. I might, maybe not right away, but I think eventually I'll end up going back and doing like a series where I just break down the camera, the lens, and, but do it in a way that's like more connected. Because right now they're sort of in like bits, and like they're individual videos and exposure and stuff like that. I might end up doing like a more streamlined. And I'm also thinking about, again, this is stuff I don't have time to do because, again, take care of my mom and all that. But hopefully I'll be able to get back to doing it. But to make some shorts, because YouTube's been pushing shorts on us so much recently. Just shorts. Make some shorts. Make shorts, guys. That I was thinking about making like short topics, like about shutter speed, stuff like that. But I just worry that it might be too generic. I don't know. I could try stuff if I had time to do stuff. I could actually try that. Apparently, the studio was worried about Fiddler on the Roof being seen as too specifically Jewish, so they did an early form of demographic research to make sure it could work for anyone of any faith. Well, it makes sense. But I think the play also was, the play captured a lot of yuppies. They appreciated it. And the story of Fiddler on the Roof is not really particularly Jewish. It's more about ethnic peoples. A lot of ethnic people can see themselves in that. I mean, as Asians, you can see yourself in that storyline. It's so normal. Have I used a CineMod lens? I don't think so. I've used Cine lenses, not CineMod. I hate YouTube Shorts. Yeah, I agree with you. But if YouTube wants to push them out and make some money doing it, maybe it might be worth it. I can watch 5 shorts in 2 minutes. Exactly. I think you missed a super chat that my comment. Also, my comment telling you that you missed it. I missed a super chat. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, there. No, that was the one. If it's from further back, just put it back in the comment. I'll read it. Super Collector Clark says, so I commented about me worrying about Avatar 2 being 48 frames. He said it replied back, 4K Blu-ray doesn't support 48, it supports 60, like Gentleman 48. Yeah, so Blu-ray doesn't support 48 frames per second is not a NTSC or a PAL standard. So no, that's why you never gotten a Hobbit 48 frames per second Blu-ray either. So you won't see an Avatar 2 on Blu-ray that's 48. It'll be 24. Or I mean, I don't think they'll bump it to 60. Oops, only 2 comments come by. I'm a Roman Catholic and I love Fiddler. Yep, a lot of people. I think Fiddler transcends. Fiddler is not about being Jewish. It just happened to be Jewish, Is Avatar mixed ratio done from the projector or the edit? It's actually done. The projector is the projector projects. Well, I believe the projector projects 48 frames a second, and then the stream itself has 24, just doubled up frames. Or sometimes they'll do that blend frame. I don't know if they do it that much, but. Let's see here. I actually better get going pretty soon, guys. So I'll hang out for a few more minutes. Let's go till about 55. Then I gotta get going. Oh yeah, no, I got that. I read that out loud. I read that super chat. YouTube shorts are like street performers. They can't help but stop what I'm doing and enjoy them. Who's complaining about free entertainment, Officer Krupke? Yeah, exactly. Pasolini versus Spike Lee. I don't know. Hey, fellas, just saw your socials. Hoping you're hanging in there. Man, summer blockbusters being 1989's nostalgia with Keaton's Batman and the Indiana Jones movie. Well, the Indiana Jones movie, I'm not having much hope for. I'm going to have to drink some of this really old drink here. Keaton Batman in Flash. I don't know. The Ezra Miller thing I'm not down with. But yeah, it may be nice to see Keaton as Batman, but I just want some original stuff. No movie should be shot in 48 frames a second, 48 for great speed. Yeah, we all agree. 9x16 shorts will be a disease. Another video I want to do is the defending vertical video. I want to do that. Barbie is better than Oppenheimer. I'm going to go with Por qué no los dos. For those that don't know Spanish, why not both? I want to see Barbie and see Oppenheimer. An idea I heard to improve shorts would be to YouTube allowing you to link the whole video essay in your short, like click here to see the whole video. Yeah, hopefully that's on the horizon, at least like a button or something like that you can click on. But yeah, that's what I mean. You're right. The shorts are a way to introduce, so I can talk about like, okay, here's how shutter speed works, and then show something cool as far as shutter speed. Here's what the aperture does to Depth of field. I'd rather see Barbie than John Wick. I don't know why people are so. I'm so bored with John Wick. I love action movies. John Wick has sort of kind of run its course, right? You know, it's like are we number 5 now? I don't know. I only watched the first one. No one to take seriously. It's the laugh at the victim sympathy baiting cinema. I'm not sure which one are you talking about. Let's see. That area are full of tragedy, conflicts. The director hated the industry so full of conflict and tragedy, so they made Serbian film to criticize it. It's misery porn in a nutshell. What are we talking about? Some of these others. There you go. Unfortunately, Blu-ray's limits does mean silent films are tricky to include given how frame rate infamously varied during the time. He said, yep. Remember Edison's rule for the 47 frames a second when he first started? That was before they developed the shutters, like the multiple shutters on these projectors. So that 47 frame per second was a kinetoscope rule from the really old like peep show kind of things. Once they started adding the shutters, like you didn't need to follow that first rule. But yeah, that's the tricky thing about the silent film is that it did play at all these different speeds, so we don't know exactly what silent film really supposed to look like. Are you going to see the Mario movie? Probably. I think it's cute. I think it looks really cute. I wouldn't mind going seeing a movie. I should go see a movie tonight, but I don't think I will. I don't think I will, but I should. Have you ever covered the math on focal length using a tape measure? I think a lot of lost art knowledge. So the math on focal length using a tape measure, using focal length of tape measure. I've done something like showing you how what a focal length is, like measuring a focal length. But you're talking about focusing using a tape measure, like how to pull focus with a tape measure. I feel like tape measure focusing is kind of no longer popular because nowadays there's a lot more like the LiDAR focus, which you can kind of point at something and then know what the focus is, that kind of thing. So I feel like tape measure is kind of going the way. The other thing I'll just bring up, it's very, very difficult. It's surprisingly difficult to actually use a tape measure to find depth of field. Like depth of field is really, really difficult. You can find the focus like length. It's not too hard if you have the proper kind of tape measure. If you have a standard standard construction type tape measure, really hard because the distances are so far that you can't really measure the accuracy of a tape measure holding to your camera to the subject matter. The accuracy is not very good. Like, you can be off by 3 inches easily with a tape measure. Easily. It's super easy. So finding like a depth of field, like trying to determine what the depth of field, where that close and the far, it's nearly impossible to do. Unless, it's just super hard. But anyhow, I should go back and do all that. I thought about seeing Black Panther and Avatar back to back. Oh, that would have been tough. That would have been very, very tough. Did I see the trailer for The Flash? Yeah, I thought it was okay. Go see Magic Mike. That'll cheer you up. I need the female version of that. Which is all the girls saying, well, that's every movie. What's the Magic? What's a female version of Mike? Like Michelle? Magic Michelle? That's yeah. I had to go see Magic Michelle. That's what I want to see. Magic Michelle. They filmed an actual nuke explode. No, it wasn't a nuke. It was just a big old bomb. They wouldn't blow up a nuke. They wouldn't nuke. It was just a massive bomb. I don't think there's any nuclear fission in that happening there. Yeah, thanks for all the answers. Absolutely. Just something to talk about. Is there a pull down that works from 48 to 60 without removing half the frames? Yes. Let's see. Let's figure it out. 48 frames to go into 60, right? So that means, let's reduce that. So 48 to 60, they both have common denominator 6. So that's 8, or 6, 48 divided by 6 is 8. 60 divided by 6 is 10. So 8 to 10, so that's 4 to 5. So 4 frames for every 5 frames is 60, right? So what you could do is a 1 1 1 1 2. So, or no, yeah, 4 frames into 5s. So 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2. That's a pull up from 48 to 60. So unfortunately though, that would be a very, very noticeable pull up, because 1 1 1 2, so you're getting a hiccup on every 4 frames. Every 4 frames of 60 is how many times a second? It's like 15 times a second. So you're gonna see a little blip 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 blip. 15 is like blip 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 blip. So it's gonna have a little hiccup. It won't look good. I think it'll be too distractingly noticeable to have a 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2. I think that would be a little jarring. So I probably wouldn't recommend that. Magic Betty. There we go. I'm going to see Magic Betty. Magic Betty Crocker and her delightful chocolate cake girls will present. By the way, I got to stay away from the sugars, man. Sugars mess me up big time right now. Magic Michaela. Magic Michaela. There we go. That's turning more exotic here. I'm liking that. Are you into Italian exploitation films? They are the best. Not really, but Italian. I'd like Italian. I like the neo-realistic films. Those are good. Sorry to hear my mom. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, well, hopefully we can get her a little more comfortable. Who do you think is the most promising director of recent? I say Nicholas Winding Refn. That's a good one. Refn though tends to he plays this type of cinema that's not my cup of tea, honestly. Denis Villeneuve is definitely on there, but he's not very young anymore. He's pretty established. I don't know. I don't keep track of the new ones. I'd say me, but that's just me. There's a great video I linked later called How Star Wars was Saved in Editing. It shows how every film saved in the editing, as the first cut was always very rough. Yeah, every film is. Yeah, exactly. Patrick says, so it doesn't work. Yeah, I don't think it would look good. Yeah, any big bomb can create a mushroom cloud. Exactly. Yeah, Tom Scott made a video on that. Never watched Magic Mike, but the female version would harem anime. Yeah, sounds about right. All right, let's see. Yeah, Titanic is remastered. The mix of 24 and 48 supercut motion screenings in the HFR. Yeah, I don't know how Titanic could be 48. That's just weird. What do you think about PTA overall? I think the Parent-Teacher Association is very important. Just kidding. I like PTA. I haven't seen Vinyl Licorice Pizza. I feel like licorice pizza is not for me. But, I really like, one of my favorite movies is, that's the one with, the Love movie, Punch Drunk Love. Punch Drunk Love is one of my favorites. Anyhow, I like PTA. I wish he'd make more comedies. I haven't seen him make a comedy. He's been in quite serious director mode. But when he makes stuff that has comedy in it, it's very good. It's almost classic Hollywood, or classic indie film Hollywood. My voice is starting to go, guys, but I'm getting coffee fits here. I like Robert Eggers. I didn't care for Northman that as much as everybody else did. I thought it was a little too rough. Go to bed, Cristoforo. See you later, man. Here's my first special feeling toward women watching Laura Gemser's Emmanuel. Yes, I don't think I've seen Emmanuel, but I know I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with Emmanuel's, shall we say, reputation. Licorice Pizza has some comedy. Yeah, Licorice Pizza to me is a little, but the thing is, it's nostalgia for a period that I don't really have nostalgia for, and I don't want right now to deal with nostalgia. Like, nostalgia would be kind of rough on me right now. Like, I'm not into nostalgia right now. And I don't mean just specifically right now. I mean, as in, like, in this period of my life, I'm not drawn to nostalgia. It doesn't do anything for me. Oh, Eggers did not have Final Cut for Northman. I don't know if it would have been better if he had it, though, because to me, it was just too much of a power fantasy movie. And nothing wrong with it. It just didn't capture my heart. Orson Welles was horrified when people thought he was doing political commentary at the end of the trial. He had to explain it was just a regular explosion, and all the explosions have a mushroom cloud. Interesting. I still have to see Fam Thread. Fam Thread was pretty good. It's sort of like about a cold, heartless person, basically, at the end of the day. The romance is not really a romance. I mean, it's not really a romantic movie, right? I mean, it's been such a long time since I've seen it. One of the best comedies, Wisco Tango Foxtrot. I want to go back and rewatch Tina Fey's movie, Mean Girls. I kind of wanted to see it because I saw that musical a few months ago. Kind of want to see it again. All right, it's 55 after. I better get going. It is dark now, so I better go and get some dinner and get my mom some stuff. So thanks, guys, for hanging out with me again. Sorry to be such a bummer at the beginning here, but it is what it is. And I'm going through a lot of stuff. So thanks for hanging out with me and chilling out. And I feel much more alive and talking about things what I want to talk about in life that I want to talk about. So I appreciate you guys so much. Really means a lot. And we will be back next weekend. Hopefully next weekend things will be settled down more and we'll have some better things to talk about. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Again, many, many thanks. And we will see you guys later. I'm going to take off now. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Fade out.